everyone, welcome to this week's EdTech Tuesday video. This is the last in our series on Nearpod, an online platform that allows you to create and direct lessons for students from a distance. You may be wondering why we are on a Google Slides presentation, and that is because you can create a Nearpod lesson using a pre-existing or newly created Google Slides lesson. So I'm going to go back here to Nearpod. I already logged in, and you can see there are two options for creating a new lesson. One is using a lesson in Google Slides, and the other is creating a lesson from scratch in Nearpod. I clicked on the creating a Google Slides lesson, and it's going to take me to my Google Slides. When it does, it will automatically open a slide like this that explains how to download the add-on for Nearpod. The add-on may already be added to your account because it was approved by our district recently. If you do have to add it, click on Add-ons, then click on Get Add-ons, and search for Nearpod in the G Suite Marketplace. The app should come up, and then you can click Slides Add-on. If you click on add-ons and it's already there, then you're ready to use it. Now you simply have to open a Google Slides lesson and get started. So I've chosen a Google Slides lesson that I've already created, and I'm going to be adding some Nearpod features to it. I don't want to make changes to my original, so I'm going to make a copy and then embed the Nearpod features in the new copy. I'm going to retitle it Nearpod and the title that I already had selected. Now I'm in the copy of my presentation, and I'm going to go to Add-ons, and I'm going to select Nearpod, and I'm going to open it. That's going to open a window on the right side of my screen, which will give me Nearpod features to embed into my new lesson. So now I'm deciding where I'm going to add my Nearpod features. One of the things that I can do is turn any of my slides into a Draw It slide. This blue button over here that says Convert to Draw It means that my students could draw on the slide that I already have created. I don't want to add that feature to this lesson, so instead I'm going to choose a place where I'd like to add a question. So now I'm scrolling through all of the options that I have to add questions to my presentation, and I'd like to add a poll. So I'm going to click on Poll, and now I'm going to type in a question, type in some answer options, and then hit Save. Now Nearpod has embedded the poll slide into my presentation. You may have noticed that it appears somewhat blank. Sometimes it takes a while for the data to appear in that slide. Now I'm going to continue scrolling through my presentation looking for more places to add questions. I've skipped ahead a bit and I've decided to add an open-ended question. I've typed the question in the box, and now I'm going to hit Save and save that question. The question will now appear in my presentation. Now I'm going to continue adding questions and other features until I have finished adding all of the Nearpod resources that I would like to my lesson. Once I have added all of those features, I'm now ready to save and go to Nearpod. So I'm going to go over here to the bottom right, and I'm going to click on the white button, Save and Go to Nearpod. Now it's going to take me back to my Nearpod library, and you'll see that my lesson has been added. It's saving to my Nearpod library. Once it's finished saving, I can now view it as I would any other Nearpod lesson, even those that I've downloaded from the Nearpod lesson library. I can click on Preview, and I can view it as if it were an original lesson from Nearpod. I can skip through my lesson, make sure that all the features work, and that it looks exactly how I want it to. So creating a lesson from Google Slides is not my only option. I can also create a lesson from scratch in Nearpod by clicking on this Lesson in Nearpod button. With this version, I would click to add a slide. I can add content, web content, or activities. So if I click on Add Content, you'll see that I have the options to add a slide and add several other features from Nearpod. If I close this or look at Add Web Content, then I can add website URLs for students to visit. And activities are additional questions and other interactive features. To be honest, creating a lesson from a Google Slides is much easier for me than creating one from scratch in Nearpod, just because Google Slides is much easier for me to use personally because I've had more experience with it. I find it takes me about half the time to create a lesson in Google Slides and then upload it versus creating a lesson from scratch in Nearpod. It's just not as user-friendly. So those are the two options for creating lessons in Nearpod. Thanks for watching.